Let's not for a moment think we are fighting against an international hotel chain. Because an international hotel chain can't land here and start building things.
Someone is making it easy for them.
When you see those footage, I've seen some footage of some wildebeest sort of stuck in some place wondering where to go.
I know.
When you realize that that thing blocking the wildebeest has a NEMA permit, then you realize NEMA is rubbish. That's why I call NEMA children. There are tens of camps and lodges that are violating that environment in so many ways. There are tens of them, maybe 100. The most powerful tool in the hands of these colonialists is our leaders. They're coming, compromising our leaders, and our leaders are giving.
They're not taking anymore. They are being
given. They're being given. They're being given. I can tell you today that there is nobody in Kenya government who has any idea how valuable our natural heritage is. Nobody. The so-called magical Kenya thing, it expressly excludes black people. It markets an idea of beautiful landscapes, beautiful wildlife, and no black people.
Of course.
Masai Mara right now, you can't go in with your car.
Yeah.
The car going in there has to be green. This green is this word that's recently been used to cleanse things. I can call it greenwashing. When you call yourself green something or climate adaptation and all that, sustainability, it is something that gives people escape from taxation. It gives people escape from scrutiny, auditing. It gives people a free pass.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of LNN. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Where I've missed saying that. You know, guys, I've just noticed I have not had a guest for like 3 months, but this conversation was very much needed because the first time I sat down with my guest today, him and Barrier, something awakened in me. We were having a conversation on their book, The Big Conservation Lie, and from that moment, I started to see conservation for what it is, a scam, and I could not wait to have a conversation with him again on his new book, Green and Evil. And this is a book that I would want each and every one of you, if you're in a position to get a copy. Penye nimefika, sitawadanganya ati I've read all of it, but penye nimefika, I'm actually at the conservation science, what it is versus what it should be. And every time I'm reading a page, I'm like, which world have we been living in? But I'm so happy that we have people like Mordecai telling us things as they are and making sure that we continue enlightening ourselves and we continue learning and relearning. And now I'm just going to go ahead and let him introduce himself. Maybe for the people who have not gotten an opportunity to catch him on this platform. He's a regular, by the way. Mordecai is a regular LNN guest, but I know someone might be watching this for the very first time and they've not had an opportunity to see him. So allow me to let him introduce himself and we get right into our conversation of the day. My brother, how are you?
Thank you very much, Lena. I'm doing fine, thank you. It's good to be back here after some time.
Yeah.
For those who don't know me, my name is Mordecai Ogada. I'm a wildlife ecologist, now a policy scholar, and I concentrate mostly on the human rights part of conservation and the things that affect our lives, because conservation, again, it's about all of us. So I'm now more in the policy more than the ecology. I still do a bit of science, but more in policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And it's so good to have you again on the platform. And you come with a new book here, Green and Evil. Yes. And I think for me, the highlight was knowing your son took the cover photo.
Yes, that's very special.
Yes. Why is that special for you?
It's special for me because it involved taking my son with me on field work, showing him the places I go, the things I do. I've had a few opportunities where I've had talks and that kind of thing, and I've brought him along. I think it's really important. Even he's into IT.
Yes.
He's not into conservation and science and that. But it's important for our children to know what it is we do, what makes us tick as their parents, and to appreciate us for what we are. And that was my opportunity. So he's a highly skilled photographer.
Yeah.
So I got him to take some photos, and I'm proud to have them on the cover of the book. And I think it's a good sort of legacy if it will, even though I'm still here, it's a good legacy for him to remember this is what my dad does, this is what my dad did,
Yes,
and how I participated in it.
Yeah, and we'll get to what the dad does. But before we go any further, this is you on the cover, right? And there's an animal here, zebra, but there's a fence here.
Yeah.
Let me ask, what does the fence signify?
The fence signifies the separation between the fracture that's being created between us and our natural resources, our land, our natural heritage, our rivers, our forests, our animals. The barrier that's being created by those who are interested in acquiring ownership of those resources. Because those resources in the world today, that is wealth. That is the true wealth. And if there's only one thing I could make Kenyans understand, is the fact that our resources are our wealth. These papers we call dollars, we call euros or whatever, that's not wealth. And we should not exchange those green resources, those rivers, those forests, those animals for these papers.
Yes.
Because the papers are created by man, printed by man. The animals are not. Those are our birthright.
Yeah.
The forests are not our creation. They're our birthright. And I think the way Kenya has been going, we've been rushing to exchange everything we can for these dollars. Even our own children, we are exporting labor right now. I think labor is one of the biggest exports from Kenya.
I know, right?
We are exporting our children, our sisters, our brothers. We are giving out our land. We are giving out our water catchments, our forests, our wildlife. We just see the huge disaster that's happening in the Mara right now. A migration that has gone on for millennia. In 2025, we decided to fracture it for a few of these papers that are called dollars and euros and whatever. And that's the disaster. And Green and Evil is about the empire or imperialism. It's about colonialism, really. And people must remember, colonialism was not a political project. It was a capitalist enterprise. The people who come here to conserve our wildlife did not come here because they love us. They came to make money. The people who colonized this country came for resources, minerals, ivory, cheap labor, farms to produce food to supply their industrial complex, and this kind of thing. So once we understand that, a lot of things will make sense. So this book is very much to try and help people join the dots. Yeah.
So let me ask you, why the name Green and Evil?
Yeah, I think the green is to target this. This green is this word that's recently been used to cleanse things. I can call it greenwashing.
Yes.
So we hear of green growth, green finance, green hydrogen, green fertilizer, green this, green that. It's a word used to cover up also all the enterprise that goes on under this climate colonialism empire. And it is something that gives people escape from taxation. It gives people escape from scrutiny, auditing. It gives people a free pass. When you call yourself green something or climate adaptation and all that. Sustainability. Again, that's a very important word. Sustainability is a word we use these days as if it's a technical term and all that. But it's a subjective term. It's like lovability. Is Mordecai lovable? That's subjective. Some may think so, some may think not.
Yeah.
But we've started saying sustainability. And sustainability, we've concentrated on the natural environment. Yet sustainability has to be social, political, and economic. Because the most important species in Kenya and anywhere else is human beings. If once we neglect the human dimensions, we are lost. So I think sustainability, adaptation, green finance, climate finance, these kind of things, that comes under the green. And this is to tell people that green is actually where the evil lies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where the evil lies.
And you've mentioned a word here, climate colonialism.
Yes.
Yani, you want to tell me we've been colonized climatically or climate-wise?
Yeah.
Because we don't hear such words. You don't hear something like climate colonialism. So what exactly is that?
I think the thing is, imperial colonialism, the one that happened late
Yes.
19th century and all that, was very primitive, if you can say so. Guns, they came with guns and they shot people, killed people. It was just violence. And then they grabbed the resources. But now, fast forward now, people have more knowledge. There's human rights charters in place and this kind. You can no longer do that easily. So now they latched onto something that is a global crisis, climate change. There's pollution, emissions, etc., loss of biodiversity. These are real problems.
Yeah.
But when you latch onto those, now you get a free pass to enter another country, dictate their policies, take their land, because it's for conservation. If you came to Kenya and said, I wanted X thousand acres of land to make a factory, you'd be told, bring the money, you have to buy the land, or you can't displace people to make a factory, or a tobacco farm or something, or a sports stadium. But when you say it's for conservation, in fact, our leaders are the ones who take the lead in displacing us to make room for you. And this is the tragedy we face. And that's how this climate colonialism works. It's become a very useful tool in that the people, countries like in the West, those that produce huge amounts of emissions, have now come and found that they can continue polluting as long as they come and suppress development in the global South. Then they say that's an offset. And the whole idea of offset is the biggest fallacy. It's like the idea that I can continue taking many showers to make you clean and all these other people clean. Everyone has to take their own shower.
Exactly.
You have to clean up your own act in your own country. If you pollute in Europe, taking land and planting trees in Laikipia in Kenya does not clean up what you're polluting in Europe. It's as simple as that. But they found that they can take this land, they can offset, and at the same time, they can keep industrialization of Africa low, suppressed. Because the West's largest nightmare right now is the industrialization of Africa. After World War II, when they established the UN is a structure that was established to maintain supremacy of certain nations over others.
Of course.
It's not an organization that is to help people equitably. And Africa was supposed to be just the source of raw materials and labor, while industrialization was to happen in the West. Asia was to supply cheap labor to produce what they have invented in the West. So Asia has sort of broken that mold. They've thrown their hands and say, we are going to invent, we are going to manufacture, and they're up and running. Now, what worries the West now is the fact that Africa, we have this very young, strong, healthy population. Strong and healthy and creative. And we have the resources, natural resources, in the same place. If these two things come together, suddenly they'll be in a back seat, or suddenly we will start progressing beyond what they intended for us to do. And with many human myths, they have a lifespan which is usually around 70, 80 years old. Any propaganda BS you put out there lasts around 70, 80 years. Then it unravels. This pattern I told you is about 80 years old. It's from 1945, after World War II. And it's now expiring. And now that's why they need to bring the climate change thing and tell them, you must reduce your emissions. And you remember the Africa Climate Summit, which was held in Nairobi 2023. Yeah. They all gathered here. And I remember our president in a stupid little electric car. it was yellow, driving to the venue. Something that is not even secure enough to keep our president safe from any attack or something. Driving to the venue. While John Kerry, who was the US climate envoy at the time, came in this motorcade of these huge SUVs. And that was a perfect snapshot. Us, we are here to perform, to please them, while them they can go on producing and benefit. Consuming how they want to.
Well, they benefit. Yeah. And I think that's what makes me sad, because as you said, Africa, we have the people, the manpower, and the resources. Yes. Actually, I think by 2050, 1 in every 4 people in the world will be African. So it's not even negotiable. We are here and we are here to stay. Yeah. But do Africans know this? Do we know how powerful we are? And also, what roles do these politicians play to make sure that we remain suppressed? As you were saying, you have Ruto there with that electric thing. He doesn't even know what he's doing. But again, when you go back, you find out that organizations such as the Global Center on Adaptation are getting immunity, or they are receiving immunity to be here. And the more you look at it, the more you wonder, how are we even issuing immunity to such organizations that are not even credible in their own home countries? So do we know this? Do we know how much power we have?
The general population is slowly discovering, but the most powerful tool in the hands of these colonialists is our leaders. And talking about Kenya, because this is our country, this is the one we know best. Yes. I can tell you today that there is nobody in Kenya government who has any idea how valuable our natural heritage is. Nobody. Not one person. And that's why you find like that organization, Global Center for Adaptation, suddenly has been offered premises or land, whatever, to build the HQ in Kenya. And they even said they will house our Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources inside the HQ.
The irony.
I don't even know if that's, maybe lawyers can advise, I don't even know if that's legal for our ministry to be a tenant in an NGO's.
But it's not even premises. Okay.
It's totally out of order.
Yeah.
But you see, this is why when I invited people when I put a post about this book, I said that any adults working for KFS or NEMA or Ministry for Environment are welcome to attend. And I was in a forum somewhere, I saw in a forum somewhere that some people saying, this guy is belittling us. There's no way I'm belittling them any more than the Kenya government has belittled them by handing them over to Global Center for Adaptation. That's the ultimate belittlement. Once you are in that place, you may as well be sweeping the corridors.
Of course, or serve tea.
Yeah, or serve tea. You are what in colonial days was called kitchen total. You know that kid who sent around, bring the salt and this kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
So I think that's it's a wake up call, and all these things you see coming in, be it the carbon credits, etc. The NGOs, the West is no longer using guns; they're using NGOs. And I've said something simple: if carbon credits was a profitable business, why isn't KFS the richest organization in Kenya? They control hundreds of thousands of acres of forest. If carbon credits was a credible business, why is KWS still begging from donors? And these are the things we have to ask. And the reason is the people in charge of these things, they find so much comfort in handouts that enterprise to them now looks like something abnormal. You know, Kenyans have that term they use at work smart, don't work hard.
Work smart.
Governments can't work smart. Governments have to work hard. You can't start running scams because somebody is running a scam sometime of naming baby animals, elephants. I saw even KWS at some time started trying to run a similar scam, saying you can come to Amboseli and you pay, I think, 500K or what was it, and you name an elephant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me, I can go to Amboseli and name as many elephants as I want, and I will not pay you a penny. And that's why it's called Mordecai there. Yes. I will not pay you a penny.
Yeah.
But they see scams and think, oh, we can also do that scam. And it's pathetic when you're a government or a state organization and then you think you can do these funny things that individuals do. and that's the biggest challenge. So now we have to wake up from the individual level. The awakening of Kenya will not come from state organizations or government level. It will come from the individual.
Yeah. If we are now talking about climate colonialism, are we free? Because now, yeah.
No, we are not. We cannot be free if our forests are controlled by someone else, an external party, an individual party. And what I needed to illustrate also that NGOs are funded by wealthy capitalists, partly by governments also, but wealthy capitalists.
Yes.
Those are the colonialists. The Gates Foundation, whatever other foundation, Buffett Foundation, who fund these organizations, they're the ones who own the resources because the NGOs do what they say. The scientists who do the research are funded by those guys. So they will say what those guys want. So no, we are not free at all. And you can see the mantra that has been picked up even by our government. You see the constant reference to, we want to be like Singapore.
Oh, yes. Yes.
As someone who's traveled, I'm sick of it. Singapore is a dirt poor country. Even the water they drink and flush in their toilets is imported from Malaysia. It's just a city. They have no forests, no rivers, no lakes, no nothing. Their energy is 100% from imported natural gas turbines. So we cannot aspire to be poor when we are rich.
Yes. We have the resources.
We are aspiring. In the world today, fresh water, biodiversity, and land and minerals, that is the wealth, not these papers. We cannot turn our back on wealth and pursue poverty in the name of wanting to be like Singapore.
Yeah, I love that you've brought Singapore up because I was also, I'm really tired of being compared to Singapore. Kenya just wants to be Kenya.
Yes.
By the way, at the end of the day, we don't want to be like, we want to be Kenya, Yes. And I was listening to this guy, Oparanya, and he made a statement and he told people, when he was vouching for the affordable housing and he was there telling people to leave their farms and then come and live in these houses that the government has built, these flats. And I'm like, how do you tell your people to leave their farms, their resources, number one, their resources, and come live in this concrete jungle?
You leave your wealth to come and live in poverty.
There you go, because we want to be like Singapore, who have zero resources.
Zero land, zero water, and anything. And it's also important to read history because if you look at the geography, there's the Straits of Singapore, which is a very important shipping route, has always been since for hundreds of years. And the British Empire during the colonial days was basically a criminal enterprise. They decided we can either bomb ships passing through here and extort money from them if they want to pass. That's how Singapore started. It was like a Mungiki thing. And then that's how that started. And it's just a city that, so now they just live on tax. It's like what we can call a wash economy. Doesn't produce, doesn't export, but just extorts, including from its own people. No, we don't want to be like that. And you see, there's a very careful policy in Kenya. What Oparanya was saying, that's government policy. They want to get people off the land. Our current agriculture policy document, which is, I think it's valid, it was produced during the previous Uhuru Kenyatta administration. I think it's 2019 to 2029. It actually expressly says we want to remove farmers from the production chain and put them just in the value addition chain. And it also says we want to increase consumption of processed foods in Kenya. That is written in government policy. And you remember it included all sorts of strange things, like they were outlawing use of manure. You can't take your manure and put in your mboga garden. They wanted to outlaw sale of milk, selling milk to your neighbor. If you have a cow, you milk yourself. They wanted to outlaw all that. They outlawed the exchange of seeds.
Of course. Yes. Our indigenous seeds.
It's all under that. It's all under that. So, and that is to get people off the land. It's the same thing that now you let Kenya Meat Commission die,
Yeah.
you let Kenya Leather Industries die, and things that support livestock production, because you want to get those pastoralists off the land.
Yeah.
So that the land can be now sold to capitalists in exchange for these papers called dollars. So it's part of policy, and it's disastrous. The more of our people that can see the wrong in that, the better for us.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the affordable housing, I've seen them built in rural areas, and I wonder, here in Shags here, who wants to live in this flat here? In fact, many of us who are in towns,
We want to go back to Shag, to go back to Shags.
to get a place in Shags.
Yes.
Yeah, where I can go and relax.
Yeah. But also, I remember back to carbon credits, the offsets, etc. I remember doing this story in Kajiado, and I met a lot of young people. And I remember calling you, and I'm like, Mordecai, what am I looking at? Here you have young people who have decided, no, we are not going to lease our land, and our parents are not going to lease this land on our behalf, right?
Yeah.
So does it speak to a generation that is awake, and a generation that still thinks their resources are not important?
Yeah, and I think that's the generation in which I have hope. These 20-something from sort of mid-20s and between 18 and mid-20s, because they're sort of growing up looking at, they're seeing things for what they are. They're being told, and what they're doing is so simple. They're being told, like in the case of that carbon credit thing,
yes,
they're being offered, this land is going, they are being offered this fee of $2 per hectare per year. And you only need 2 minutes to sit and realize that is 250 shillings for a hectare for a year. And you realize that's rubbish. That can't even buy lunch.
Yes.
And you tell them, and you just say no. And the thing is, their parents' generation are those who got caught up in the propaganda, and they believe that especially that something that's brought by a Mzungu is good. Because if I went or you went and offered $2 per hectare per year, they didn't go and
acha jokes.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Yeah. But somehow this company called Soils for the Future, carbon credits and all that, they've come there and they offer this, and suddenly people are saying, okay, so we are ready to sign, and we are getting some small handouts, and they're signing this as for these kind of things. So that's the reason. And the important thing to know is that if Soils for the Future Carbon is based in Syracuse in New York, it's headquartered there, why aren't they doing it, carbon trading, in upstate New York, in the Adirondack Mountains, where there's huge forests there? What do you mean Kajiado, Kenya? You have to think, has he come here because he loves me?
Of course.
Or has he come here because I'm special? He could have gone anywhere else in the world, but why has he come here? And that's being done against the backdrop. In the same Kajiado County, we have the Magadi soda, which is a lease of 250,000 acres, including the lake and lots of land around it, which was leased 1924 for 100 years, which expired last year. And this is what they should be given. This should be going back to them instead of coming to take more land away from them. This is what should be given to the Kajiado County government instead of the pretext we saw of them being given Amboseli Park. So these are diversions from the...
Yeah, I didn't see it that way.
Yes.
Because I'm...
You're being told we're being... First of all, I can tell you, the Amboseli and Nakuru are the two parks that basically run KWS. They're the ones that make serious money. And maybe Nairobi.
Yes.
KWS cannot survive without Amboseli National Park. There is no park that has been given to anybody, because these are created by acts of parliament and ordinances, and I didn't hear any of that go through parliament. It is not part of the president's purview to just hand over a park. But these are to divert from that. If Kajiado County government got Magadi given to them, They can even shut down all other revenue things. That Magadi alone can run Kajiado County government with no equitable share, even money coming from national government. That's how valuable that is. But somehow this has been extended in some fishy way, but everyone's excited, jumping up and down about Amboseli. Tumepewa Amboseli, but what about Magadi?
So Amboseli is a distraction.
This is a distraction.
That is sad to hear.
But that's what's going on everywhere. Be it around the carbon credits, be it the conservancies around the Mara, the placement of that Ritz-Carlton, and so many. I mean, it's good people that Ritz-Carlton thing has made people wake up to this. But there are tens of camps and lodges that are violating that environment in so many ways. There are tens of them, maybe 100.
Yes.
But it's good this one has woken us up. Now we'll even see the other ones. Yeah.
Now we'll definitely see and talking about the Ritz-Carlton, the Masai Mara, I think for me, what's sad about it is people like you have been speaking about it for years. And even before we started rolling, I was telling you, Mordecai, you can't even get tired. But do you ever get tired because these are things you've warned Kenyans about? Do you ever look at it and you are like, I told you guys, now here are the consequences. I've been talking to you about these things.
That's a very tempting position. And I'll confess, there are times I've told people. There are times I've gotten irritated and told people, my land is safe. If you are giving away yours, Peana, my land and my son's inheritance is safe. But we must keep on. It's a growth curve for me. When me and Barrier wrote the big conservation line,
yes,
we thought we are fighting or resisting an assault from foreigners to take what is ours. In the years since then, I've grown to realize that they're not coming and taking. They're coming, compromising our leaders, and our leaders are giving.
They're not taking anymore. They are being
given. They're being given. They're being given. So as much as the Marriott or Ritz-Carlton, whoever they are running roughshod over our natural heritage, they have been permitted to do so. And as we fight them or resist them, we must hold every leader to account. Everyone who has a signature on any paper there. Any leader who has gone and stood at the opening and given a speech and cut a ribbon, those are on the other side. Let's not for a moment think we are fighting against an international hotel chain. Because an international hotel chain can't land here and start building things.
Someone is making it easy for them.
There's permits, there's facilitation, there's taxation, there's NEMA, EIAs, everything. When you see those footage, I've seen some footage of some wildebeest sort of stuck in some place wondering where to go.
I know.
When you realize that thing blocking the wildebeest has a NEMA permit, then you realize NEMA is rubbish. That's why I call NEMA children.
Hey there, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And maybe before we continue, allow me to talk to you about our partners, All Smiles Rehabilitation Center. Because if there's one thing we rarely talk about openly, it's addiction. Because the truth is, every family has someone battling it. Sometimes it's alcohol, cigarettes, pills, or even stronger substances. But here's the thing. Addiction is not a choice, it's a disease. And that's why places like All Smiles Rehabilitation Center exist to help people heal, recover, and rebuild their lives. They offer a full 90-day recovery program with detox, therapy, nutrition, care, counseling, and real coaching for life after rehab. And the best part, it's all done in a peaceful, supportive environment with doctors, psychologists, recovery coaches, even simple joys like movie nights, or sports, or even book clubs. If you know someone who needs help, reach out today. All Smiles Rehabilitation Center is where healing truly begins, and their contact details are on your screen right now.
I do not consider NEMA people worth any respect. because those wildebeest that are blocked, the thing blocking them is approved by NEMA. And this is why we have to wake up. But yet again, if Lynn went and wanted to build such a thing, no.
You know, I've been asking myself a question. Do we need these parks? Do we need the Masai Mara? Do we need even the Amboselis? Do we need these things?
I think
maybe I could be wrong, but do we need them?
The parks and protected areas, okay, they were created out of displacements and violations of people's rights. The sad truth today is that we don't even know the people who were kicked out of there.
Yes.
If we degazetted them today, I can name the people who will get those lands. Even if we degazetted Nairobi National Park, you will see the poor people from Karen are the ones who will take those lands. But the truth of the matter is, I think the ones we have, we probably should keep them as monuments to injustice. Because history is important, even bad history. I'm glad, like, if you look at Senegal, you have like Gorée Island where the slave market was, and they've kept it. It's important not to demolish that slave market.
Yes.
So when people go there, remember, this is where they came to take our ancestors. So we keep those parks as part of the history, but we should not create any new park, any new conservancy, any new kind of protected area of any way. That one we should not do. And right now we are busy there's something going on in Kenya that not many people know about. It's called KRRE, Kenya Rhino Range Expansion something, chaired by Meg Whitman, former US ambassador.
Is she still here?
She's in and out, but she's the chair of that thing. And they are constantly picking rhinos from parks and taking them to new places. Remember our previous conversation I told you, a rhino today is the most powerful land grabbing tool in Africa. And we have been told for years that rhinos are highly endangered. Suddenly, last week I read an article saying that rhinos are now overcrowded in certain places in Kenya. And I said, oh, really? But that article was to justify translocations
of rhinos.
Yes, to new places and to grab new lands. And this is going on, facilitated by KWS. The vets, the trucks, everything KWS.
So is KWS for the Mwananchi or for their own greedy?
No, KWS is a home guard organization. If I call these people colonialists, KWS is their home guard.
Wow.
Absolutely. KWS doesn't work for us. It doesn't. Not by any stretch of the imagination. That one we should be clear of. We should not make any mistake about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, because we are talking about conservation also, if we were to do it as Africans, just us, Sisi too, how would that look like?
If we were to do it as us, we should conserve systems. And by systems, like if you have like, let's say in southern Kenya rangelands, these are livestock production system. We should conserve that. That livestock production system is what has kept the wildlife thriving in those areas. The free movement, because if you leave paths for livestock to be moved across the landscape, those paths are also used by wildlife.
Yeah.
And as the livestock thrives, the wildlife thrives. So we should do away with fences. We should agree that this area we are using it for livestock production because elephants are also passing along here. So you are told that no, if you own land here, we want you to just produce livestock. Don't come and plant maize and elephants are passing.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen.
Yes.
And then we should revive the industries like Kenya Meat Commission, so that this livestock producer has a constant way of making money and removing and disposing of his stock at fair price.
Yeah.
And then we must also keep access clear to water points, resources, be it forests. People should access forests. forests should not be fenced. The sort of thing you see in Karura, that's abnormal. That's abnormal. Forests should not be fenced. People need medicinal plants, wood fuel. Some of these forests are even sacred. People go to pray there and these kind of things.
Yes.
So everything should be accessible, but controlled, not controlled access, but used responsibly. And also all this is quite complex, but this is why we study. This is why we have PhDs in conservation science. You cannot have KWS headed by someone with a PhD and the ideas he's coming up with these poles and wire. You don't need to go to school to come up with the idea of putting poles.
Even me, I can do that.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. And I think if we do it like that, then we should, the key thing also first we have to do is remove the tourism office or discussion from the table where we are talking about conservation. Remove them completely. Ideally, I don't think we should have a ministry of tourism or tourism in any part of the cabinet. Tourism is just a business like hardware.
Yes.
I mean, it's a business. So once we do the conservation discussions and we agree this is how to sustainably use this thing, then if we end up with a very nice forest, a very nice rangeland with the wildlife and all that, now tourists want to come and see that. Welcome.
But on our terms.
On our terms. We will not remove our people to make room for you. If you come there and enjoy seeing the place with our people in there, wonderful.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm really against the Masai Mara. Honestly, the Masai Mara is a place I said I will never go because I don't think it benefits us. When the Ritz-Carlton puts a lounge there, that is, I don't know how much, was it almost 500,000 or something close to that a night or two? You guys can check that out for me. Is we are not the target audience, right?
No, we are not. And they're little. One of the things you see that why I said we should remove tourism from this discussion, the so-called magical Kenya thing, which was started by Najib Balal, I think, when he was the minister.
Yeah,
it expressly excludes black people. It markets an idea of beautiful landscapes, beautiful wildlife, and no black people.
of course.
And the reason, and you see these things subtly come in the rules, like Masai Mara now, and many other places in Kenya. Now they've even brought rules. You can't, Masai Mara right now, you can't go in with your car.
Yeah. You need an off-road.
Even if you have one, they've got stipulations. The car going in there has to be green or brown. You know the brown color you see on the safari vehicles.
Oh wow!
Personally, I've got a red Land Rover. I can't go to the Masai Mara with it. So you'll have to park it at the gate and hire those guys, those other cars to take you out, or come with a tour company, that kind of thing. People, and what they say that we want cars that blend into the landscape. So even if Lynn has her white Land Cruiser, she can't go. And that's the thing they use, but that's the excuse or reason they gave. But the reason is to make Lynn not go. Because I've bought a car, I've got a 4-wheel drive car, which served me very well. It's very expensive. I've fueled it and maintained it. And you're telling me I can't drive it into there. The result of that telling me that is that I want to go. And that's what they want.
To limit access.
Yes, they don't want you to go.
They want to limit access.
Because even if I go, nothing will pay me. I've parked my car at the gate and I'm paying someone now to drive me in here.
Around. And maybe you just want to be alone,
Yeah.
you and your own.
I see an interesting bird. I want to sit and watch it for 2 hours if I want to. But I can't do that because I'm paying this thing per hour, maybe, whatever.
Yes.
So the net effect of that is that Kenyans don't go. Kenyans don't go, and that is what they want. Even including the rates, they've increased flat rates, very high, very steep, and you sort of think, and even those who have that money, you think, no, I don't want to spend this much on this. And it's very small. If you make some small rules like that, it will piss off even those who have the money and say, no, I don't want to go.
Yes.
You tell the kids, we'll go and watch that thing on DSTV.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the net result. And so there are these things that are little things that are done to limit us from going into the parks. Now they increase the rates. They put it on, you have to get to this e-citizen, I mean, right now you can't just be driving down Langata Road on the weekend and you tell the kids, still going to the park. You have to do e-citizen, this, that, the other, and all that. And it's not what.
It's hectic.
But the net effect is that you want to go. And that's what they want.
So are we an eyesore?
We are treated as such. And this propaganda is very old. And it's very widespread. Even in Hollywood, you look at Hollywood productions, the old productions, Born Free. Born Free is a movie, I think, 1969, 1970. We have props on the side there. But look at even the recent things, like the animated productions, like The Lion King.
Yes.
Those are African animals in an African setting. They're speaking in American accents, aren't they? They're American voices. Do you see any black man there or woman?
You know, even I think the funny thing is, even natives are not featured.
No,
it's
no.
like Africa is a home of animals.
Yes.
You know, it's like animals exist, but people don't.
Even the lions like Mufasa, they're speaking American English. They're not speaking the sort of accent me and you are talking now. They're speaking American English. Look at the movies like Madagascar. And you know, we think these are cartoons and we take it casually. That propaganda is really powerful. When a kid growing up watches that, and that movie inspires him, wow, this is a wonderful place, I want to go there one day. Then he comes to Kenya and sees all these people around Masai Mara in Samburu. He's disappointed. He feels cheated. Like, what are these guys doing here? This is not what I came to see.
I want to see the animals.
Yes. And they even say, I mean, places like the Masai Mara have really good wildlife densities and you see animals. But it's disappointing to them. I went there, I saw all this wonderful wildlife. But there were so many black people around. There were too many goats, sheep, whatever, cows. And Masai guys just walking around there. Or Samburu guys walking around there. And that's the net effect of that propaganda. It has made the natives of the place look like strangers or trespassers
in their own
land. And the propaganda is so powerful that it really takes time even to tell students that, look, when you're talking to foreign students, look, that when you see the Masai Mara, you know, that is someone's homeland. That Masai guy you see walking, that's his homeland. That's his ancestral home. You can't tell him to go away. To go where? Or you can't ask where he has come from. No, that's where he comes from. And I think we should face up to this and change our whole narrative around tourism to make it include that. Because it's a very racist thing particular to Africa. When tourists go to see the wonderful things in China, you never see them coming back and saying, I saw too many Chinese people. You don't see someone going to see the wonderful the things they see in India that they say, oh, it was wonderful, but there were too many Indians. Those people, that's their home.
Yes.
But we've kept that. We've kept that here. That the ideal and the highest paid African safari experience is directly proportional to how few black people you will see.
Wow.
The richest tourist to Kenya who might pay a few $100,000 for his safari is one who comes in a private plane, lands at Jomo Kenyatta. The immigration guys go to the plane, stamp their passports. He's picked by a helicopter on the runway there and taken off to somewhere in the middle of Laikipia or Samburu. So in all this, he's probably seen black people, immigration guys. Maybe the helicopter pilot might be black.
Yes.
And then the back of the head of his safari driver and the waiters serving them and drinks are the black people he has seen. So he can probably spend 2 weeks in Kenya and really see and get to know maybe 3 or 4 black people, that is the top safari.
In our own land,
Yeah.
where they are supposed to see 90% natives and 10% honey.
Yeah.
Very sad, but
Yeah.
back to our book, Green and Evil. You know, you're also an author. And I know, obviously, this episode will be watched by a lot of people who are aspiring to write a thing or two. What was your, not aha moment, what was your awakening moment as you wrote this book? Did you come to any new realization? Because I think we learn every day.
Yeah. The awakening moment was sort of within myself. I sort of realized that where I am, my age, stage in life, etc.
Yeah.
I need to share what I've seen. I need to say something and about our society. Leave something that people can refer to and realize what's going on, because this is not only targeted at the natives, as it were, to realize they're being exploited. The exploitation, the Green Empire, is so big. It has such powerful propaganda. It's provided so many jobs, so much money, careers, courses, that there are people within there who actually do not realize that they're gears in an evil machine. Well-meaning people. So it's important for them to read this as well and realize that, oh my God, this is what I'm part of. This is what I'm doing. And then change within themselves and start moving in the right direction. So that was my realization, and the fact that life is not infinite. At some point we have to have these conversations, and these conversations are what will remain even long after we are gone. And that to me is the most important thing, because too many times in the conservation field, I talk to people and somebody say, oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know. Because the propaganda is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
So I wanted to leave something that people can read and know. Obviously, I've not said everything, but he reads this, he'll sort of think, oh, so this is what's going on. Now he'd start investigating things otherwise. And also that the reason also why I wrote this is, and I very deliberately avoided technical language and anything, because I want every Tom, Dick and Harry
to understand.
Yeah, to understand this. The accountant somewhere, the guy working a chef in a kitchen, they need to know what's going on with our environment and our resources. And once, for every person who tells me that, oh, I never knew this and now I knew, that's sort of the ultimate satisfaction. That what's being done is, once people know that what's being done is not okay, that will help us now start changing.
No, that's true. Because I never look at tourism or conservation the same way I used to.
After
I met you, I can't love it. I can't love it. I can't vouch for it. I can't stand it.
It's really hard.
You know, now, and that's because of people like you, opening up our minds and talking to us about this thing. But if I was to grab a copy of this, or if someone is watching and they would want to grab a copy, what are the 3 take-homes you would want them to live with?
Environment is you, what you do. The tree you plant, the rubbish you throw on the ground, the maintenance you do on your car to avoid excess exhaust gases and all. So it's what you do. It's not what, you don't throw rubbish on the ground and say environment is good because someone comes to pick it up. You don't give money to some organization somewhere claiming they are planting trees.
Yes.
You go buy a seedling, plant a tree.
Trees.
And you keep the water clean. So I think my message is, first of all, environment is each and every one of us, what you do and what you teach your kids. Secondly, environment is not, responsibility cannot be devolved. We cannot clean on behalf of someone else, and no one else can clean on your behalf. So the fact that we're trying to devolve environment. We need to reduce emissions. COP30 just ended in Brazil.
Yes.
And they came up with exactly 0.0, 0.0 agreements on anything.
Yes.
And those are some of the things we have to realize, that ignore the propaganda. Just observe kienyeji, if I may use that word, kienyeji. See what's going on. Is it right? Is it wrong? And always, you have to also remember history. When someone is advising you or purporting to advise or guide you in environment, where does he come from?
Yes.
What has he done there? Or what is it like?
Yes.
Where he's coming from to advise you. So I think it's understanding ourselves. I hope this book makes us understand ourselves, our country, and what's valuable about us and our country. That to me is the most important thing. And also to give some, hopefully even an adult who reads this can end up with some knowledge that he can now explain to his kids. This is not what we should be doing. Rather than saying that we don't care because the county government is going to clean up the rubbish, so we can just throw. The county government, we are paying water bills, so we can just waste water.
Yes.
So we are paying. Yeah. Money doesn't create anything. Yeah, and that's probably the last and most important thing, that environment cannot be bought or sold. Kenya is trying very hard to sell it. This thing cannot be bought or sold.
It is ours.
It is ours, and it is priceless. As in, you can't.
And it remains here. And I think the irony is, it's how much our politicians are invested in this whole carbon credits and emissions, etc., etc. But when you are looking at the global south and the amount that we emit versus what the global north does, you realize this is more their problem than it is our problem. But here we've made this our biggest problem right now. And this is why when they do the holidays, go plant trees, etc., etc. For me, it's not, we are supposed to be planting trees
anyway.
Any day, anytime you feel like planting a tree, plant a tree. So when I see our politicians invested in this whole agenda, I know definitely this is not
the performances.
Yes.
Because conservation is a principle like hygiene. You get up, take a shower, you dress up and keep your house nice and clean and comfortable. It's not a performance. Even if no one comes to that house, no one ever visited you even for a month, you'll be sweeping to keep it clean for you. And so these are principles. We cannot suddenly be told that now, because of conservation, I need to use an electric bike.
Yeah.
If I want to use an electric bike, I can decide whether or not to use an electric bike. But to use it because somebody came from somewhere and told me that I need to do this so that I compensate for the emission he's emitting out there. Even the electric bike is probably manufactured in a factory that's producing all these emissions. The fact that you start doing it for someone, you are instantly in trouble. You're instantly in trouble. And when you start performing for other people, and then they come here, and the most absurd things, because you see, like carbon credits, when I keep telling people, it's just a scam. Stop trying to understand it.
Yes.
It's just a scam. It's money laundering. And you're purporting to buy and sell something that doesn't exist. In Kenya, there's even a company that purports to extract carbon dioxide from the air. And it injects, they say, they extract it from the air and they inject it deep into the rocks underground.
Wait, what?
I'm telling you. I've mentioned it. It's called Octavia Carbon, if you look online.
Yes.
They say that's what they are doing. And they've got like $5 million investment, and it's from, I think the founders are from somewhere in Europe, either Denmark. I think they're from Denmark. So you start asking yourself, if you're extracting carbon dioxide from the air, see there's carbon dioxide in there in Denmark.
Yes. See, you go do that.
See, there are rocks in Denmark.
See, you go do that.
Yeah. What is it that you're doing in Kenya? Why in Kenya? And as a result of that extraction, they say this year we've extracted 50 tons. So now they are selling carbon credits equivalent to 50 tons. That's the business they are doing. Sema kuuza hewa.
Hewa.
You see.
Kuuza hewa.
Literally. And there are things someone tells you about and you just remain agape. You wonder, really? That's what you're actually telling me. And so many of these things, some of those may just end up in money being laundered, etc. But there are other things that give us unintended consequences. Like look at the development of geothermal in Kenya. Has really accelerated over the last 10 years. Really, like, and I was part of a EIA team looking at the wells when they were first really accelerating this around Olkaria. And I got to understand, I was the wildlife expert on the team, but there were other geologists, and I was looking at how they're doing it. So you drill a hole, you go through the granite, hard granite layer, and get to the hot layer below that, and the water up under there is very hot and under pressure, so the steam comes up, turns the turbines.
Yes.
And they say, this is wonderful, no emissions, the only emission is steam, which is harmless, and it's permanent. So it looked like it's like the win-win-win situation. But every time you drill a well, there's not enough pressure. Drill a well, this was not hot enough. Because there's also the economists are saying, that can this one produce enough power and all that to make it profitable? So they kept drilling so many. For every well you see that's producing geothermal, there are probably 8 or 9 or 10 that were drilled. This one didn't work, drill another one there. And what has happened is that the water aquifer, which was trapped far below the ground, water that could never reach the surface, we have now opened up ways for it to reach the surface. Do you see what's happened in Naivasha?
Yes.
In Kyoto,
Yes.
Lake Nakuru, Bogoria, and all that. And people are saying, oh, it's siltation of rivers. No, that's groundwater. It's not rainwater. That's groundwater coming up above the impervious layer into the permeable layer above. And we have to deal with it. But so far, because these renewables, these are the green, nice things, we can't say a word against them. It's just like in Congo, there are kids being abused in the coltan mines, but we can't say a word against that. Child labor, because that coltan is what's making batteries for these electric cars, electric bikes and all that. And those are the green people.
The irony.
The irony. I've never seen a child working or even heard of a child working in an oil drilling platform.
Aye.
So what is it that environment is important, but you can abuse environment if the people feeling the impact are Black Africans. Then it's not a problem.
It's not.
I know.
It's an issue.
You can call it
collateral
damage. Kando hapo. Yeah. And that's the attitude that's running things. And some African countries, you see, like these West African countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, there's an awakening there.
Yes.
What's frightening the Western world is not like Burkina Faso has got nuclear arms and is going to attack it. The fact is, these people have woken up. They're starting to think. These people are like soldiers, but they think. They seem to read, they understand what's going on. And that's scary, because what's going on has been very, very unfair to us. Very, very unfair to us.
Yes.
In fact, they make our environment, we have been stewards of this environment, and we have nice forests, rivers, wildlife, all these things. And they're turning these things from a blessing into a curse. Because now this is what's making people come and take your land away. Because in fact, today, I feel sorry for anyone who lives in a place where there are rhinos. You have no peace. I'm just glad where my mom lives, there are no rhinos. I'd be wondering every night as someone shot my mom as she's walking home, or my relatives. And feel for those people, like the places you visited, near Opejeta, even areas near Solio, near Lake Nakuru. These are people who are never at peace because of that. And our natural heritage should remain a blessing to us. It should never become a curse.
No, never.
Yeah.
It never should become a curse.
Yeah.
And I don't want to host another person who has been shot in the name of conservation.
It's painful.
It's very painful that we keep asking, where did people like Brian go? Where did people like Mwaniki go? Where are these people? It's very painful.
Yeah.
It's very painful. And I hope this book becomes another awakening for the people that are going to grab a copy.
I really hope so. And it's because you see the abuses which happen with wildlife conservation.
Yes.
They are sort of primitive and easy to understand. With the climate thing, they are very subtle. They get into banks. Do you see the billboards of banks?
Yes.
Banks have put billboards, it's showing a seedling.
Imagine.
Where this seedling come in the bank?
I mean, where is even the connection?
Where's the connection? Everyone see green, this, green, that. And the thing is, people don't understand. And people even who have put in effort to understand, they reach a point, they say, Mimi sijui, I just don't, and they don't know, and I don't care. And that is lethal to us. That's lethal to us. We have the resources. We need to manage it. And the part of our statutory authorities is that they need to manage the wealth that they have been given by law to manage, and stop begging from poor people for money to manage wealth. One of the key reforms I think should be done in Kenya, it's not even a reform because that's how it was. The Kenya Wildlife Service should be fully funded 100% by the government.
Yes.
It's a law enforcement organization.
Yes.
There's no part of Kenya Police that is donor funded.
So why is the KWS donor funded?
KFS, same thing. Be fully funded. KFS right now is a good chunk of it is funded and run by RhinoArc, that organization. The chief conservator of forests is actually a former RhinoArc officer.
So how are we supposed to make our own decisions?
Yes. Yes.
How are we supposed to escape the influence?
Yes. How are we supposed? In fact, now they've planted their people in there, and soon, as we were just saying, the ministry itself will soon be housed in an NGO office. In an NGO. And countries have to realize the value of what they have. I'm sure if you went to maybe Saudi Arabia, you will not find any foreigner in the Ministry of Oil.
No. Doing what?
Maybe they reach the gate and they say what they want there. Because they know this is our lifeblood.
But here, complete opposite.
Yeah. Well,
majority are foreigners, you know.
Yeah, and I see the people in charge of our biodiversity, KWS, I see them proudly displaying even on the newspapers. Today, so-and-so has come and donated 10 Land Cruisers.
Thank you.
And the director is there very happily, taking the key and driving one of them around the parking lot. These are the same people asking for permits to export this, to keep this, to do this. The one who donated the Land Cruiser is the head of a cosmetics company.
Exactly.
Using natural products, applying for a permit to go and collect plants in our forests.
How do you even now say no? And you've received Land Cruisers. How do you now say no?
Yeah. They are the ones looking for permits to collect various botanical resources from our forests.
Yes.
And that's how it happens. And that in the long run, it's very cheap. It's very, you want something in Kenya, you look for about, Land Cruisers may cost around $50,000 each. You look for $500,000, buy 10.
Give to these people.
Yeah.
They'll do anything you want.
Arrive there, give it to them.
Photo ops.
Yes, with the minister, not even director. From there, and then apply for what you want. where you want and how you want.
2 days.
Yeah.
You'll have gotten it.
Yeah. You'll even have someone to escort you as you go to collect those things. And escort you to the airport as you are exporting them.
Well, natives are restricted from those
yes.
specific places.
Correct.
Anyways, Mordecai, it's always good to have you here, and I hope people get a copy of. Thank you for this copy, and thank you to my people at Nuria, for sending me this copy. But I know there's a launch coming, an official launch for the book coming soon. So maybe do you want to give details, and also would you want to tell people where they can be able to get this copy?
Yeah, the official launch is actually Thursday, 27th. It's at Macmillan Library. Free entry. It's in the CBD, easily accessible. And it's also a very good venue because of who Macmillan was. These were these resource colonists.
Mordecai. So
and you will even see big elephant tusks when you get it. So it's important in that way. But come, let's have a conversation. We hope to be awakening I hope this book is the beginning of a conversation. We keep talking about these things. We keep talking about these things and discussing what we should do and how and where. So welcome Macmillan Library, 5 p.m. on Thursday.
27th.
The book is available internationally on Amazon. Locally from Nuria Bookstore. There are a number of other bookstores that are also acquiring some, but right now the first shipment is the only one that's coming. So it's available at Nuria. And I look forward to the interactions that come from this and people waking up. And if anybody who has access to the CS for environment, ask her if she knows what carbon credits are.
And I bet she doesn't.
No,
I don't know. Do they know this? We've had conversations on carbon credits. By the way, let me tell you the shocking part. Apart from you and a few other people, no one defines that. There's actually no definition for carbon credit. So I was very shocked. Why are we overwhelming ourselves in this sector if we can't even define what carbon credits, offsets, and why is it such a big issue to us, man? This is not even, mbona tunaiskuma hivi venye tunaiskuma?
And we don't know. And you see, that's the trick they use, because you go in meetings and people are talking, we are doing carbon credits and biodiversity offset, and no one knows what it is. But everyone in Kenya, we have that attitude, sitaki kukaa mjinga. So I won't ask, hey, you guys, what is this? What is this thing? Because you're hearing the minister saying it, you're hearing the PS saying it, you're hearing the president saying it.
Thing?
But what is this thing? Then you realize, oh, maybe I'm the only one who doesn't know. And people keep quiet.
Propaganda.
We are trying to create laws regulations to regulate something that doesn't exist. We are trying to buy and sell something that doesn't exist. And in the process, we are bringing in invaders.
Good. Our lands are going for 250 shillings per acre for a whole year. People are signing leases over 40 years plus,
I told the guy, at this rate, you can, even me, I can lease about 100 acres just as a playground. Just to go bird watching. I say that one is my conservancy.
Through these terms, we are bringing in invaders, and then they know what they are doing, and they know what they are here for.
And we are selling off our future generations.
There we are. Our future generation, our resources, anyways, but I'm gonna be there on Thursday. I hope to meet and interact with a lot of the people who have definitely heard about this book. You're going to be watching this on a Wednesday. That is 26th. So you'll watch this on a Wednesday, and the launch is happening on Thursday. So I hope we can be able to see as many people there.
That'd be wonderful.
That will be wonderful. Thank you so much. All the very best. I honestly look forward to having a second conversation on this.
Once people
I even want to interact. By then I'm starting a book club. So who knows? We can consider this as our first book. I'm so torn. The big conservation lie, because I feel like I have so many.
We can handle
both of
Yeah,
them
we can
together,
handle all
right?
of them, yeah.
So I look forward to interacting with people who are going to read this book, you know, just having a community where we can brainstorm and pass the knowledge over and over. But maybe before I let you go, I know you're very busy, you're doing interviews right now in regards to the book. Before I let you go, what parting shot do you want to give to our audience and also upcoming authors? You know, what advice would you love to give them?
First of all, to upcoming authors, especially who are writing non-fiction work like this, that may be about injustice or whatever it is, you need to make peace with what you're doing. Make the decision within you, so that you don't say things halfway. Tell the story, and own the story. And if someone says something, check it, confirm it, and be able to say it reliably and loudly and forcefully. So that's what makes your work impactful and also protects you as a person. So if you say things halfway, you can reap the disadvantages, if there are any, without reaping the advantages. And once own your truth and don't let the propaganda take you over. That's a very important thing for authors, for our citizens, and I'd say the owners of our environment, which is us. I think we have to protect this. We live in the perception economy right now. You are told certain people in this world are worth $1 trillion or worth 2 trillion, and these funny, strange amounts. And you hear by tomorrow he's gained another of 7 billion. These are perceptions. Real wealth, real tangible wealth is what we have, our environment, the air we breathe, the water we drink. There are countries that import water. That Singapore you are told about, even when they flush a toilet, that water is imported. That goes in the toilet. That's wealth. So let's not aspire to poverty. Let's manage the wealth we already have. And in the long run, we will do better.
We'll do better. Because now we know better.
Now we know better.
So we have to do better.
Correct.
Yes, thank you, my brother, for passing by. And as I said, I hope I get to see you on Thursday.
Yes,
I
certainly.
definitely will see you on Thursday.
Yes,
and guys, if you are able to grab a copy of this book, it's stocked at Nuria. You know, Nuria is my favorite bookstore. So I love that they have these copies there. So get yourself a copy, and I hope
there'll be some on sale on site.
Yes. By the way, I so if you get a copy, they can come with it for signing, right?
Yes,
or they can leave
yes,
it at Nuria,
and
then they can pick it there.
Yes,
so if you so nisainie hii yangu tafadhali,
Kabisa.
tafadhali please. But I hope, guys, I see you on Thursday. That is Macmillan Library at 5 p.m. Let's go there and learn more. By the way, we've barely touched much on this book, so I would want us to see each other there so that we can be able to learn more. We learn and relearn. Sawa. So see you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. I know you guys, you miss one-on-one conversations. I've not forgotten you. We'll be having Bwakali next week as well. So I'll try to feature one conversation or two in a month. But I hope you've really learned a thing or two from our conversation with Mordecai. Sawa. So see you guys hopefully tomorrow for another upload at 10 a.m. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Bye-bye.